Today on The Joy of Editing, we're continuing our journey looking at all of the filters found in Nik 8 Color Efex, and today it's the Film Efex Modern filter. Stay tuned. Today in The Joy of Editing, we're going to do a deep dive into the Film Efex Modern filter inside Nik Color Efex. Now, if you've been following the channel, you know I've done quite a few videos on DxO Film Pack. That software is amazing for its scientific accuracy and true-to-life film simulations, but the tool we're looking at today takes a completely different approach. Think of Film Efex Modern not as a simulator, but as an artistic recipe. It builds its look using a unique combination of curves, sensitivity, and color saturation tools that give you a totally different kind of creative control. I want to show you exactly how this filter works under the hood and how you can tweak these ingredients to create your own signature look. I almost forgot to tell you something very important. Before we dive into the examples, I want to let you know that DxO is running their Black Friday sale right now with up to 50% off all DxO software. And you can save an extra 5% on new purchases when you use my code DaveKelly at checkout with the DxO links in the description of this video. I do earn a small commission at no extra cost to you, and it really helps support the channel, so thank you. Now, I have three different examples today: a landscape image, a portrait, and an urban image. We'll start out with this landscape image. I have the Film Efex Modern filter loaded up and ready to go. Now, right now I have the filter shut off. Let me turn it on. It defaults at Agfa Precisa 100. I'm probably saying that wrong. In fact, I know I am. Now, this is a drop-down. If you click this, you can see all of the different film types in here. Now, by the way, these are all color films, no black and white in here. And what we're doing is using sensitivity and saturation to set up the colors here. Sensitivity, think of it as how light or dark these colors will be. Now, the DxO scientists have set up these controls to simulate these different types of films. So we have the saturation adjustments, and then we have curves adjustments. You'll notice when I change this to a different film, watch that curves adjustment. See it changing, taking on the characteristics of that film, how light and dark certain areas of the film will be. So that's pretty interesting. And then if we look under curves, we can adjust the opacity of the curve setting, which is very important. And then under that, we have grain. It simulates the amount of grain you would have for each one of these types of film, how hard or soft that grain is. And then you have shadow and highlight recovery. I don't really use it for this filter because if you pull up the highlights, it tends to make the image look gray. I don't use that. I'd rather work with the curves here. I'll show you how I do that in a bit. And then we have an overall opacity, which is very handy, which can blend it in with the original image just to give it a more natural look in case the effect is too strong. So that's nice. So let's go and check out some of the different film types. When you click on the drop down and hover over the film name, it'll show you instantly what it's going to look like. So it's really nice to find out what kind of a look you want. And there's a lot of looks in here, you know. The one I liked for this image was Kodachrome 64. So I'm going to click on that. Now, if you want to maintain the look of this film, I recommend don't touch sensitivity or saturation or this curve here. But if you feel like your highlights are getting blown out or your shadows are too deep, what you can do is take the curve's opacity and start to pull it back. You see that? And that way you'll ease off on that curve adjustment, but you'll maintain the actual setting for that film. And if you want to, you can also go and click on the L button right here, and then you could maybe pull down on your highlights if you want. You can double click a point to get rid of it, or maybe you want to open up your shadow so you can pull up in the shadow curve, pull down in the highlight curve, do like a reverse S curve. But to reset these points, just double click them and they reset. So my tip is if the effect is too strong, speaking of the luminosity values of it due to this particular tone curve, you can just pull back on this opacity a bit and get it tweaked in for yourself. I went ahead and zoomed in so we can see the grain for this film we're looking at. Now, if you look here, we have grain per pixel, and this is set up to emulate this film's grain. So that's what it would look like. But if you want more, you can take the grain per pixel slider and move it to the left and see you can add more of that grain or less. And you can also adjust how hard or soft it is. Move it to the right to make the grain look harder, or to the left to make the grain look softer. So you have all that control. If you don't want to see any grain, just drag this slider, the grain per pixel, the whole way to the right, and that shuts the grain off. We'll fine tune this image, but first off, if you want to keep this film look just the way it is, and say the lights were too light, the darks were too dark, you could just take the curve's opacity and drag it to the left and just ease back on that and maintain this curve. You could also adjust the opacity and pull it back a little bit, let a little bit of the original image show through. And now let me shut this off. Here's before and here's after with that Kodachrome 64 look. Now let's talk about creative license. Let's say you like the Kodachrome 64 look, but you'd like to tweak it and maybe come up with your own signature look. So maybe you come up here and you say, you know what? I want my reds a little bit darker. So we could take the sensitivity slider, move it to the left, see how the red tones get darker, and maybe make the yellow tones a little lighter. And maybe the sky. Let's look at the sky. So we have cyan. Let's darken cyan a little bit and maybe darken blue up a little bit just to give us a little darker sky. And then we could come and work with color. Let's say we want our reds saturated a bit more. We can take the saturation for reds, drag it to the right, increase our saturation, maybe pull back on the yellows a little bit. And maybe the sky, do we want a little bit more saturation up in the sky? Possibly just a little wee bit. And do we want more cyan, less cyan? Maybe a little less cyan, maybe right about here. And of course you have violet, not much violet in here. And then you could come and adjust the tone curve. For instance, maybe you want to take this shadow point and pull it up a little bit and maybe make our shadows not quite as dark, maybe somewhere right around here. And this is around the midtones. Let's pull it down a little bit and let's pull our highlights back, maybe just a little wee bit, maybe right there. And now let's say, I really like this look and I'd like to be able to use it again. Well, you could come here and click Save Preset, give it a name, and then click Save, and it will live with your user presets that you could call up at any time. And then also you do have RGB curves for color grading. You can alter your colors with curves. And don't forget about your grain per pixel. You can change that, and your overall opacity. You can leave it up at 100% or just dial in just the amount you want. And maybe right about here, let me shut off this filter. Here's before and here's after. Pretty dramatic change. Now that we've used it on a landscape image, we're going to a portrait next. And I'll go a little bit faster now that you know how all these adjustments work. Now, let's see what this filter can do for a portrait. We all know that modern digital sensors are amazing, but sometimes they can be a little too clean, almost clinical. The real benefit of Film Efex Modern here is that it instantly takes that digital edge off. It wraps your subject in a specific atmosphere and mood that feels organic. It's the quickest way to turn a standard headshot into a character study, giving it that timeless quality we all love. For this image, after going through the different films, I ended up going with Kodak Portra 160 VC. Let me shut off the filter. Here's before and here's after. Now it's a little bit hot up here. The highlights are a bit light, so I like to tone it down a little bit. I don't want to touch this curve, and I could pull back on the opacity, but let me show you something else you can do. You can click on L for luminosity. It will not shift colors. And what I'll do is I'll take the highlights and I'll click right here and drag down. See, I'll just take that off the highlights a little bit. Maybe if the hair's a little too dark, I may want to lighten up the shadow, so I'm going to click right here and just lighten that up a little bit. Just somewhere right around there I think looks pretty good. Now let me shut off the effect. Here's before and here's after. I really like it. I may pull back on the highlights a little bit more to maybe right there. Again, here's before and here is after. I love the glowing skin. And again, if we want to, we can pull back on the opacity and let a little bit of the original image show through, maybe just a little bit, maybe to like 81%. Let's see the final before and after. So let's come up to compare. Left click and hold. There's before and there's after. But look at that beautiful filmic look that we're getting. You know, this is okay, a little boring, but this really spruces up this image. You got to give this filter a try. Next, let's move on to this urban scene. We have some wonderful texture here with the graffiti on the wall and the steps. This is the perfect playground for Film Efex Modern. It allows us to really lean into that street vibe, adding some grit and character that ties the whole scene together. And you know what, for this one, I think I might even try some film grain. I know a lot of you out there don't like film grain, but I love it, man. Especially back in the film days, we had lots of grain in our images, depending what film we were using. And some film grain could add some nice character. For this one, I ended up using Kodak Max 400, a higher speed film, so we have a lot more grain in there. Let me shut it off. Here's before. And here is after. I really love the face and the color that has changed than they had again before and after. The hat looks really cool. I'm really enjoying the way this came out. And let's go ahead and zoom in. Let's zoom in to 200% so we can really see that film grain. Isn't that grain cool? I think it's beautiful, but I love the film grain. Now for this image, I think what I'll do is just leave everything the way it is. I'm not even going to touch anything. I like it. Again, here's the before and here is the after. So that is the Film Efex Modern Filter. You got to give it a try. Well, there it is, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial looking at the Film Efex filter in Nik Color Efex. It's a really great one, and I do hope you give it a try. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like, share it with your friends. If you're not yet a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe, click that bell notification icon, click all so that you receive all notifications, and then every time I upload a new tutorial, you'll get notified about it. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today in the Joy of Editing with Dave Kelly, and I will see you all right here next time. But until then, happy editing.